Hey, what's up guys? So if you've seen any of my other videos, you may have noticed this show up a lot, the Logitech Crayon. Now, I have talked about it before briefly, but today we're going to go in depth and see if this is really a good purchase for you to use this upcoming school year. Also, it would really help my channel if you left a like and even subscribed if you enjoyed the video. More videos are on the way, so hit the bell icon if you don't want to miss them. And a huge thank you for the request to see this video. Now, let's get straight into it. Now, something that is great about this stylus is the way that it connects to your device. There's no Bluetooth required, no plugging into the iPad directly, no delays, just simple connection. Now, you'll have to make sure that you have iOS 12.2 or higher, and all other digital styluses are disconnected. To connect, you simply hold down the power button located at the top, and you hold it down for about 4 seconds. After, you'll see the green light turn on, and once you do that, your pencil will be turned on. And that's it. Once the pencil's on, it will just start working with your device as an Apple Pencil would, because it uses Apple Pencil technology inside of it. This means you'll get the best when it comes to styluses and the hundreds of Apple Pencil supported apps out there. You also get things like palm rejection and tilt, which I will be going a little bit more into detail later on. The Logitech Crayon is light and durable with its aluminum carpenter pen style body. According to Logitech, it can withstand a 1.2 meter drop, so in the odd case it falls on your desk, you should be okay. However, with this body, that's highly unlikely. What is likely though, may be you having to give your hand more breaks than usual when it comes to writing. As I mentioned in my previous video, this will vary from person to person, but I noticed that the longer I held my Logitech Crayon, the more uncomfortable my hand would feel. And yes, while this does happen when writing anything, it did happen faster than usual with the shape of this pencil. This wasn't a deal breaker though. I was easily able to write during all my classes, and giving my hands a few seconds to shake out really helped me get through the day, so I would not worry about it too much. At the end, you'll find the silicone rubber cap that covers your charging port, and while I've moved it in and out of my case, it has pulled off the pencil a few times, but as long as you're careful, it won't be going anywhere. The Logitech Crayon tip itself feels really good to write on, and plastic on a glassy screen does take some time to get used to, so you'll need to get a screen protector of a matte finish or some sort, which I'll be showing you my pick in an upcoming video. The tip of the Logitech Crayon is quite hard and durable, so unlike cheap rubber styluses, you're going to have a writing experience that really feels like you're writing on actual paper. And as someone who really has to take a lot of notes, having a good writing experience is really important since you'll be doing it so much. There is no perfect way to explain it, so I recommend you get a cheap rubber stylus and write with it, and then use something like the Logitech Crayon where you're going to have that natural resistance you usually have with writing. It makes it feel way better and is just so worth it rather than putting yourself through something like this cheap rubber pen. Now, according to Logitech, the Logitech Crayon has a lithium battery that has up to 7.5 hours of active writing time and automatically powers off after 30 minutes of idle time. While I did find it to be very reliable for school and getting me through those long note-taking sessions, leaving this thing on was kind of a killer, even with the auto shut-off feature. For me, the battery just drained a lot more than I liked, yet somehow there was always just enough left to use during the school day. And it's for that reason I believe the stylus was very reliable through my pencil case being dropped on desks and basic use throughout the day. We will be getting into the use in just a bit. Now, while I did say leaving it on could cause an issue, its ability to fast charge undoubtedly makes up for that. Only 2 minutes of charge time is equivalent to 30 minutes of writing time. So if you're running low on juice, just plug it in while your teacher is explaining what you have to do and have a solid amount of battery to get through your class. Charging is even simpler when you consider that it uses the same charge as your iPad with its lightning connector at the end. And don't worry about plugging it into the iPad itself. Logitech thinks ahead and makes it simple and not so awkward for you during class. So what exactly can I use this for? Why would I even want it? Is it a necessity? To answer that, we have to see what your reasoning is for using the iPad in the first place. Are you a student like me who cares about reliability, feel and writing experience for specifically making your notes digital? In my opinion, the Logitech Crayon is perfect for that student with lots of notes, as you can really simplify and organize by going paperless. I talk more about that in my upcoming GoodNotes 5 walkthrough for students, so stay tuned for that. If you're an artist and using this to create masterpieces and doing this professionally, or at least want a professional experience, then I recommend you opt for the Apple Pencil itself. Yes, the Logitech Crayon has important things that makes it the best choice for students, like palm rejection and tilt, but the pressure sensitivity that you get with the Apple Pencil could be so useful for drawing and really is the deciding factor. If you draw, you're going to want an Apple Pencil. Now, this doesn't mean you can't do some great art with the iPad. With Logitech Crayon's built-in tilt recognition, you can replicate pressure sensitivity and still achieve great pieces. Pressure sensitivity is not necessary for taking notes, but depending on the artwork, it could be, and you're better off just getting the Apple Pencil instead. Other than that one reason which only affects a small amount of users, the Logitech Crayon is more practical for students and note takers specifically. While I would say to get this as a mouse pointer type of addition to your iPad, iPadOS allows for mouse support, and if you're someone who just needs to touch the screen better, and maybe you can get into those small specific areas, you're better off with just a regular Bluetooth mouse. So as I've thrown around here and there, the Logitech Crayon does have its flaws and is not perfect. The lack of pressure sensitivity for artists could be a deal breaker, and the body could prove annoying rather than a reason not to buy it. Its flimsy top cap should be fine as long as you aren't too rough with it and don't have some curious eyes wanting to play with it. But an issue I did run into rather early on is the pen tip itself. It has a great locking system to prevent kids from getting into it, but what is actually possible within the lock is the tip itself can unscrew in place, and this can actually mess up the Logitech Crayon and cause it to lose connection to your iPad. This happened to me in the middle of class, and I could not use the pen for a few hours before taking a few minutes to try and figure out what the problem was and why it was happening. Now, if you feel anything loose in your own Logitech Crayon, then be sure to check if the pen tip is screwed on all the way, as it could just be a little bit loose. So the Logitech Crayon costs around $70 or $90 Canadian, and I completely think that it's worth the price. Like all things, it's not perfect, but I believe that the positives definitely outweigh the negatives for the Stylus. This will especially be good for students going back to school because you'll be able to get this way cheaper than the Apple Pencil, which comes in around $99 or $130 Canadian. And as I mentioned before, the jump in price is simply not worth the benefits you gain, as only a small amount of users would really take advantage of them. So thank you guys for watching, and share this video with anyone looking to take notes digitally. If I've missed anything, leave a comment and it'll get answered. Until then, I'm Matt, and thanks for watching.